The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The Book is Dave Sherapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are The Bostonian versus The Book.
You covered! You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus The Book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sherapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
What's up, Brigade? Happy Wednesday and welcome into the day that will now be known as Whale Watcher Wednesdays. Brought to you by Sport Trade. Matt Perrault, Dave Sherapan, Alex Kane will be by in a little bit to tell us all about Sport Trade, Whale Watcher, the tape, everything coming up. It's a big day for us. We're very excited. Thank you for being here. We are live on our YouTube channel at Boston versus the Book. We are live on Twitter X, same name. Replayed on Sirius XM, channel 159, and on Sports Grid TV. We've had a hell of a morning. Already been to Circa. How are you, Dave? Happy Whale Watcher Wednesday.
Yep. We're out looking for Moby Dick, Shamu, humpback whales. We got a tape that'll show all of the plays where they're at. I can't wait. You'll find out all about it. Alex, our guy, just a random meetup on a street in Philadelphia led to the start of what's going to be a fantastic relationship right there. You guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for the show at symbol Boston versus the Book. But on the Twitter, there it is at Sport Trade. You're going to have this thing, the tape. We're going to let Alex tell you all about it. Very excited. I already got my favorite thing about today, which we already did this morning. So we do that at the end of the show every day, and we're doing that again today. I'm great. It's Skeens Day.
It is Skeens
you know
Day.
That, right?
It is Skeens Day. Yep. Skeens Day. We got that coming up. Dodgers in town for the Pirates. Second home start for Skeens. He started 3 of the 4 games on the road. So home game for him today. We'll see if the bullpen can hold on to a win for him this time, considering they're not that great at doing that at the moment for Paul Skeens. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. So Alex Kane will join us here in about 20 minutes. So looking forward to that conversation coming up here with him. Today was fun. It's always really, for me, it's cool to meet people from the Midwest. It's cool to meet people who have listened to my radio shows. Joe Onler, you guys see in the chat a lot. His brother Flip, they were with us last year for the Brigade Proxy Service. They're with us again. I know we'll get to it at the end of the show with favorite thing about today, but I just wanted to give him a shout out here at the top because that was a really fun conversation. I got to hang out with him 15 minutes before we signed up. Yep. Got me out of a little trouble potentially, so that was good. His timing was impeccable this morning. It saved me maybe for having a police visit, so that was good. And then we signed up, and then we wound up you and him chit-chatted afterwards, and I ran back to the house to get everything set up here. So great to see them and in the chat. So more people when they come back. It's one thing to do the proxy service 1 year, and you guys join and say, okay, we'll give you guys a shot. I think it's a testament to the way we did it last year that people are comfortable coming back for a second year. So the repeat customers really make me happy and really be like, yes, we did the right thing. It was the right decision to do what we did. And we're really psyched to see where the future goes with all of this. So looking forward to all the new people coming for the Brigade Proxy Service. It seems like every day we're getting new, either something on Twitter or an email or a text or something saying, hey, I'm coming to town late July, coming to town in August. We can't wait to see all you guys. But the people that were with us in year 1, really happy to hear that you're going to be coming back and looking forward to see.
And you just froze. First freeze, cash all tickets, Perrault, 7 minutes into the show under. So that was the first freeze. That's fine.
It's weird too. It's weird that the freezing is weird because it's happening in the beginning of the show and then it doesn't happen again, but it always happens around noon. It always happens right around lunchtime.
Yep. Yeah. It's a strange thing. I got somebody that tells me it's the time of the day. It's this, it's that. We don't know why. We're working on it.
Yeah, I apologize.
It's all good. You guys bear with us. It's fine. Yeah, the Brigade Proxy thing is fun. It really is. Symbol at Brigade Proxy on the Twitter. The telephone numbers 702-570-TALK, TALK. You can get in touch with us. That was great. That was that was. We'll save it for favorite thing about today to give it its full justice. But
yeah,
great start to the day.
Hell yeah! All right. Breaking news: the NBA is close to closing a deal that would give them $76 billion over 11 years. This, according to the Wall Street Journal. This would increase the annual fees paid to the league by the broadcast partners by 250%. ESPN is going to pay $2.6 billion a year. NBC is going to pay $2.5 billion a year. Amazon's going to pay $1.8 billion a year to air NBA games coming up in the very near future after next season.
Whoa.
$76 billion. That means TNT is out.
Yeah.
Inside the NBA is dead.
Oh my goodness.
So they have a chance. TNT has, I guess, a clause in the contract that they can potentially try to figure things out. But TNT is in deep debt. Deep debt right now. They're in real trouble. They can't afford to pay these rights fees. But what does this do to the NFL, Dave? If teams are going to pay $2.56 billion to air NBA basketball games, the owners of the NFL must be laughing their asses off right now going, woo, we're in for a pretty interesting negotiation because they have an opt-out clause. I believe it's after next year. They can opt out of their current deals to carry games.
I mean, what are they going to do? You can't get more money. That's absurd.
Why not? Why can't you get more money? The NFL? Why can't the NFL go get more money?
Where'd they get the money from? Not the
advertisers. No, advertisers, and it would be somewhat sports book. Sure. I mean, FanDuel's about to buy the naming rights to all the regional networks that Diamond Sports is going to forfeit. Bally's is going to go away. It's going to be called the FanDuel Sports Network. That's starting.
Okay.
I mean, this is an unbelievable amount of money for ESPN and ABC.
Billions with a B.
Yep. And they're going to have, and the $2.6 billion means they get the finals. ABC, ESPN gets the finals. NBC gets $2.5 billion. They're going to have 100 years per season, half of which will appear on Peacock. Half. We're going to have to all get Peacock. It's been the one app I do not want. I do not need. I do not want. We're going to have to get Peacock. Wow. Yep. Half games, half will appear on Peacock. Amazon will pay about $1.8 billion annually as well on this. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that Warner Brothers, TNT, can still match the price to stream games or have a new package created for them, but those options are dwindling. So that would kill inside the NBA if TNT is unable to do something with the NBA to get games on TNT. So the fun thing to kind of look at this is the salary cap. The NBA getting $7 billion per year for media rights, according to Keith Smith at Keith Smith NBA. Good friend. We haven't had Keith on. We need to get Keith on.
We got to get him on.
Great dude. 10% cap growth. That is the max the cap can go up starting in the 25-26 season. So the cap will top $200 million in 28 and 29, a 35% max salary that will project to be $72 million. As what was reported here by GimmeSports.com, that means that Jaylen Brown, who signed the NBA's first $300 million deal last year, will soon be the norm for star player.
Oh, okay.
Max contract will now be $400 million. A $400 million contract is coming. As noted, LeBron James is the only player in NBA history to have career earnings more than $400 million. That will be one max contract for an NBA player.
How many of those get given out?
You can have one or two per team, depending on how you do your cap.
So every team is going to have one of these, you think, a max contract?
Boston's got two. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. They got both with max contracts.
Boy, you got to do some real math calisthenics to figure out how to get two. on one team, I would think. But I guess if they get all this money from the TV, I mean, that's incredible. How are you close to this deal? Like, you either got this deal or you don't. Like, right?
Well,
like,
it's being
hey,
reported.
we're close. All right, what? We need
Well,
another billion? Or
You know how?
can-
Well,
can
wait,
give us
wait.
$1
You
billion
know how to. You know how to negotiate. This is you leak this out when you want to try to force someone's hand, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're trying to force Warner Brothers and TNT to pony up.
Okay.
I mean, they want a fourth option. I guarantee you they want someone else to come in with $1 billion. Warner Brothers, I mean, everyone's crying about Inside the NBA going away. So Warner Brothers is going to ask for, I mean, how many? They're the fourth option, but how many games do they want? Do they want Tuesday, Thursday? They can't afford it. That's what they normally would have, a Tuesday, Thursday standalone, two games. They can't afford it.
Theoretical question.
Yep.
By spreading it out all over, it helps the league. They get more money, they get more bidders and stuff. Does this help the product?
I don't think it matters for the product. I think the games
doesn't
go
matter.
off.
You're just going to find it wherever it's at. People will want to watch NBA basketball.
I think those are two different conversations. If you mean the product on the court, I don't think it matters at all. I think it matters as to who is watching. I think it definitely matters. I think it definitely creates a more difficult thing, but they're not after you, Dave. They're after our kids.
No, I understand that, but
and our kids are cool with it. Our kids just go app. They don't. Soon
do they watch the games?
The channel changer is going to be a thing of the past.
Yep.
Okay. It's going to be gone. Yep. We're not going to change channels. It's all going to be touchscreen on your app, on your phone. And, that it's just what they're going to do. I mean, I'm going to be very interested to see how do because the NBA is a younger audience anyway. So they're more comfortable going on streaming. Remember, half of NBC's games are going to go to Peacock. And half, it's 50 games a year. They're going to be on Peacock. Amazon. So you're going to have how many games for Amazon? 100 games for Amazon, 100 games for NBC. It's basically the same price they're paying. So I'm assuming it's going to be 100 games for Amazon. So 150 games nationally broadcasted on an app only. ESPN, ABC will put games on their app, but not exclusively. You can still watch it on your TV if you have cable or satellite. I'm just curious because I think the gambling companies, how much money do they have to advertise? Because Netflix is already seeing resistance on how much money they're asking for the games on Christmas.
Right.
From the advertisers.
Right.
Like they're asking an obscene amount of money to advertise. And like there's people who are in the ad world are saying like they're not going to get what they're asking for. It's way too high for a streaming service only because we don't know what the numbers are going to be for a streaming service only 2 games NFL Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Now it's one thing like to put it on. I'm going to have a broadcast on cable and internet. I'm going to cable and satellite plus internet. This is internet only for Christmas Day. 2 games on
Probably
Netflix.
The day the internet goes down. That'll be wait till that happens. Do they get a make good on
the internet? Can't go down, but I know what you're saying. I'll be curious to see what happens also as we progress towards internet only broadcasting, and that is coming in the very near future, that what that does from the overall audience perspective, kind of to your point, like we're used to seeing big numbers. And remember 2 years ago when it was floated that one day the Super Bowl could be on pay-per-view, everybody was like, no way, that'll never happen. I don't know if that's true. I'm not going to say that it can't happen to have the biggest broadcast ever be pay-per-view.
With the way the conversations are all going, I don't want to say never to anything.
Right.
Somebody might actually be able to pull it off and do it. We'll ask the boys and girls in the chat right now. A decent crowd in here. Do you guys watch NBA regular season basketball? Yes or no?
Well, they bet, so they're going to say yes.
I don't know.
You
don't have to watch it to bet.
I mean, but they're going to turn in at some point just to see what's going on.
That's why I'm asking. Ask people. I don't know if people watch regular season NBA basketball. We do. It's our world. It's our vacuum. I watch games, but if I got to, I can't switch the channel between a game on this channel and a game on that channel. I can only be on this stream. I got to get 8 devices. Guess what? I might watch the game. I might not. I don't know. But I'm 53 and I'm old. I got to have 6 apps open on my phone. I wouldn't watch them if they were in my backyard. Thank you, Tyler. Good to see you, sir. Hope that hat's working out. You could post a picture of that on your Twitter if you'd like. He's got a BVB hat, pretty fresh.
WV Punch Drunk's question is interesting. How long till the NFL has its own network and owns all their own programming? The problem with that, nobody wants to own. I mean, the NBA has NBA TV. The NFL's got the NFL Network. They could already do that. They don't want to do that. They want to have somebody buy their product and then sell their product for them. They don't want to own everything. That's way too much work. They don't want to do that. They would rather have NBC give them $2.5 billion, and NBC has to go and make up that nut, not them.
That's a good gig if you can get it. That's what a lot of sports book odds providers would do. They'd rather than run a book, we'll give you the numbers and you'll pay us for it. Interesting deal. Great. So, in the book world, you don't have no risk. That's even better. These streaming things are taking on all the risk, are they not?
It's true. And Leans is right here. If you remember, what killed the Pac-12? The Pac-12 network killed the Pac-12. That's what's the problem, because the Big Ten network has worked, and that has caused, no one could find Pac-12 games. If you put a game on the Pac-12,
they have a streaming app.
It didn't work. Well, it's not, the app is not the problem. They couldn't put the broadcast channel. No one knew where it was. It was exclusively on a tiny place. Like, I forget where it was, but it wasn't on DirecTV. It wasn't available anywhere. So nobody could find it. So people stopped watching Pac-12 games.
I have it on. It's on the cable package.
Okay, well, it's gone. Pac-12 network's dead, so the Pac-12 is dead. So the NFL, everyone rushed in to grab a hold of this. We want to own our own content. NBA TV, NFL Network. You saw MLB. MLB has to have two, NHL and MLB together. They got to do. They share everything. It's two different channels, but they share all resources. Talent goes back and forth. Sets go back and forth, because it's more advantageous economically for them to do that.
Right.
There are big questions right now circling about television networks, because why? Well, shows like ours. That's why, because the overhead for our show is nothing compared to the overhead for most television shows. They've got 5 different people on set. They've got 10 different people working behind. They have all the electronics. They have all the cameras. They have all the directors. It's a big number you got to hit just to break even.
Right.
And COVID exposed all of this.
Right.
You can do high-level television, and the audience, which is the most important part of all of this, the audience doesn't care. The audience is cool with it. They're good with it. People in there, I'm in my, I'm in my house, in a bedroom in my house.
Same.
So are you. People are cool with that. No one is sitting there and going like, oh God, you're not a professional. You're in your house. 10 years ago, 10 years ago, that was the biggest question, right? Like, I told the story before on the air, but when I was in Omaha, the morning show wanted to do their show from, I should have always Des Moines. In Des Moines, they want to do the morning show from their house in Des Moines, because they were like, I don't want to drive 25 minutes every day at 4 a.m. And it was like a nuclear option request. Like, if you require this, we're firing all of you. Like the station was like, no way in hell. Now, both people aren't in the studio. They're in their houses.
Right.
Like, that's just what we do now for broadcasting, and the audience has okayed it. So that's, if you have all this overhead to produce content, it's hard to do. It's really, really hard to do. So, MLB Network's a good channel. Yeah, it is. It's a very good channel. I agree. And so is the NHL Network, for that matter. They both do really good jobs and good work. But if the advertisers aren't willing and the audience doesn't care about a set, if they're like, look, we're not going to keep on paying for this. This number is enormous, but this number is for streaming. Amazon's got more revenue streams than they know what to do with. Like, Amazon's taking money from all different ways. So this is going to be very interesting to see how it plays out.
Did you put a poll up?
Oh, I thought you just have them put it in there. You want a
poll?
poll?
No, I put a poll up. Do you watch NBA basketball? Yes or no? Let's see who's watching. You can actively vote on while you're watching our show. This is a benefit of us doing the show here on this platform.
Right.
Gives you a poll option. Do you watch the NBA? Obviously there's going to be a lot more people watching the finals. That's a different story. But I'm talking about regular season NBA. I think we're going to get less on the yes.
I don't
We're
know.
going to get less on the yes.
I think our audience watches a lot of sports.
I think you're going to be surprised.
He pays $150 for League Pass.
The juice.
He pays for League Pass. He goes above and beyond.
There you go.
Not just the free stuff. He pays.
So is that still going to be an option in that situation?
Yeah, of course it will be, because you want every game. League Pass is every game.
Okay.
So, but it's going to, I mean, we're going to minimize the effectiveness of League Pass for sure, but they've got 76 billion. They don't really care.
Right.
What do they care? They're getting 76 billion. So it's like, what do I, it doesn't matter. Butchie, we all don't have a choice in some ways, Butchie. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's our job, so we have to watch it. We don't have a choice in the matter to watch it. All right. Before we get to Alex Kane and talk about Sport Trade with Whale Watcher Wednesday, the Jontay Porter story's not over yet. What happened yesterday was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So this is not a news report. This is the federal government. Brooklyn man arrested for illegal sports betting scheme involving National Basketball Association player.
Yep.
So long story short of this is that a guy who was the bookie for Jontay Porter was in over his head. This is always the danger of having players who bet on the sport that they play, because they lose. When they lose, somebody says, "Hey, you got to make me whole." And the way you do that is, I want you to throw a game or to sub out. And they bet once for all of Porter's unders, and they hit. It cashed. The problem is, Dave, they couldn't leave that honeypot alone.
Correct.
And they went back for a second time.
Yep.
And that's what led the Brooklyn man to be arrested at the airport yesterday, trying to leave the country.
The first time, what's that saying? Shame on you.
Yeah.
The second time, shame on me. They did it once. They parlayed all his unders. And now, instead of just betting under points and getting minus 110 or minus 120, you put them all together and you find a way to make it like 7.5 to 1. So a 10-dimer wins 75,000. You let some people know, multiple people, multiple accounts. Boy, you're sitting in a book and you're going, And as at some point here, we'll see with Alex, you have a bet ticker. And you go, okay, why all of a sudden are these people betting Jontay Porter unders? This is strange. Game goes, he gets something in his eye. He's out of the game. 3 minutes. Got 3 rebounds or something, 1 point, and the assist number was 0, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Everything happens. It's done. Wow, the book, we got smoked. If it never happens again, you write it off like, wow, we got taken. Something happened. Do an investigation. Maybe you don't find nothing. You come back and do it again. When you do that, now everybody's on high alert. And everybody that does it, bets it, as you saw yesterday with the Mercado Tupaquita got busted. You can pinpoint every single bet.
Online, mobilely, yeah.
You can see every mobile bet that's made and find out who made it, where they lived, and everything. Where they were when they made the bet might be different from where they live. Funny how that happens.
Right.
So they get Jontay. The story must come out. He says, this is what happened. They find this guy at JFK with a one-way ticket to Australia. Hold on, you ain't going nowhere. Coming with us. You don't mess around with them. This is one of those situations. I saw it yesterday. I got a text. Did you see this? And it's when it says justice.gov.
Uh-oh.
That's
not good.
Link. You go, hold on. Open it up and go, oh boy.
Bruce, a.k.a. Long Phi Fam. That's his name, but he went by Bruce.
Brucey.
Yep. Intentionally and knowingly conspired to devise a scheme to defraud Betting Company One, an online sports betting entity, which is known in your affidavit, to obtain money and property from Betting Company One by one or more materially false and fraudulent pretenses. These are all bad words. These are all things you don't want to be reading when your name is attached to it.
Definitely not.
I am a special agent with the FBI, and I've been involved in the investigation of numerous cases involving wire fraud conspiracy, and illegal gambling. I'm familiar with the facts, circumstances set forth below. Blah, blah, blah. All defendant, Long Five Farm, known as Bruce, resident of Brooklyn, New York. NBA, blah, blah, blah. You can read all this, and it's not good. It is just really, really, really bad. I love the fact that they have to explain what a prop is and a parlay inside the affidavit.
If you don't know, go read the affidavit. It gives actually a very good definition.
A prop or a proposition bet was placed in blah, 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 blah. For example, a betting platform could offer users a wager that a certain player would score more, referred to as the quote over, or fewer, referred to in betting terms as the quote under points of that certain number of points designed by a betting platform for a given name. A parlay bet or a parlay was a bet comprised of two or more individual bets. In order for a bettor to win a parlay, each bet or AKA leg within the parlay has to win. This is the federal government explaining this in an arrest document. This is an arrest document for the dude.
If anyone with the federal government or anybody wants to have a consultant to help you with these terms and things like that, just reach out to the show. You can email us, askthebvb@gmail.com. You guys that have been doing that, thank you very much. It's been awesome.
It has.
But we can help you with that. We'll have the consulting fees put in there. You can come on the show if you'd like. All that other stuff, it's open. We're here every day, Monday through Friday, around 11:30-ish Pacific, 2:30 Eastern, 1:30 Central. We can help you. It's wild to see, P-Roll.
It is wild because they have
places
pictures
that I've been and
they have
talked to
pictures.
people. I'm just like, what are we doing?
They've got pictures of them in a casino together. Like
none of it's good. None of it's good.
None of it's good.
None of this is good.
Between approximately 3:23 Eastern time and 4:23 Eastern time on the 20th of March, 2024, the quote blacked out redacted relative who won $85,000 on the bet in January made a transfer to the defendant of $65,000 and an attempted transfer of $25,000, which was denied by PayPal, and then transferred $74,300 from his PayPal account to his betting account that same day. During March 20th, after playing just 3 minutes and recording 0 points, 2 rebounds, and 0 assists, player 1, Porter, removed himself from the game after he complained to a team official of feeling ill. The player 1 did not re-enter the game. Player 1 was not subsequently placed on NBA's injured list in the team's next game on March the 22nd. Like, this is all bad, bad, bad. They have the full betting history of everyone who placed a bet on this. All the money, $80,000 parlay bet on the under of player 1's assists, rebounds, points, three-pointers, steals, and blocks. Like, can we not be this greedy? The bet was successful and won $1.1 million, a profit of $1,040,000. They hit him for $1 million and they went back for more.
I can't believe that anybody sitting in a chair in a room or a building said, this is a good idea to take this bet. Like, at some point you go, somebody's sending an 80-dime parlay trying to turn the lights off with us.
Assists, rebounds, points, three-pointers, steals, and blocks, all under. Not over, all under.
I don't know how that got accepted.
Yeah,
I hope.
Was the guy on? My question to the book would be: was the guy taking the bet on the take? Because did that guy go approve? Like, did you get to the right guy to know that would get approved? 80,000 on a 6-leg under on a two-way player. That's a two-way player. That's not a solid player. Jontay Porter is not a guy who's with the NBA. His brother is, but he's not.
I say all the time, when somebody puts up a bad number, somebody's got to answer for that. We turn on the sirens in the building and say, lock all doors.
Stop.
Nobody's leaving until we find out how an 80-dime parlay on all of these unders got approved. I just need to know, because we have a situation. It's bad news. Bad news.
I mean, multiple people did this. Somebody else placed three separate $500 parlay bets on the unders. Same thing: assists, rebounds, points, 3-pointers, steals, and blocks. The result was 20,000.
Right.
They won 20,000. Like, it wasn't just one guy. This was a group of people. This was a betting syndicate.
Yeah.
One guy went large for 80K, but other people heard about the news. Like, you could see sitting across the table with some guy at a dinner and be like, hey, by the way, go ahead and bet this bet. Why? Don't ask. Just bet it. It's fine. Go ahead. And it comes back for 20 dimes.
I mean, a nickel for 20 dimes, that's 20 to 1.
I mean, it's a lot of numbers.
That's 40 to 1.
No, well, it's three separate bets at $500. The total net was 20,000 profit.
Okay. So it was probably just short of
12 to 1, 13 to 1. Still good. I mean, 3 different times.
Great. What are you talking about? It was a done deal. I don't care what it paid.
Somebody else bet it for 9,400, which netted 35,000 in profit.
Nobody would notice that. Don't worry about it. The books wouldn't know. A
$9,000 parlay, a 6-leg under parlay? Sure. And again, these are all approved bets.
There's ways around the software. As the book, you have to be aware of all the leaks. Yeah. You don't want any leaks. There obviously was a leak in all this. And now it's a black eye for the industry, not just the league, the sport, the player. This is a terrible look. Do you think anyone that has DraftKings stock is going, well, how did this happen? Like, why would you take a bet that much and risk that much? I mean, you're spending this much money on this marketing and this and that.
If they never went back to do it a second time, nobody would have known.
Yeah.
Nobody would have known.
Nobody would have known.
They got away with it. Like, you had the Latenza height. You had Jimmy go and you had it. Robert De Niro did the heist in Goodfellas.
Oh,
he didn't go back.
Leota's in the shower going,
They got it. You got that. You don't go back a second time. You don't go back to the airport and rob you don't rob the second shipment. You rob the first shipment. You already got away with it. What are you going back for? You go back the second time, try to do it again, and you get hit again. Like, you think you're going to get away with it? Like, what do you like? This is just the stupidity of criminals. Like, what are you doing? Like, you got away with it. Disappear. Like, forever. Disappear.
The movie To Town from your neck of the woods up there. Like, they went back for more and more, and then they said, oh, we're going to get the big one. We're going to get Fenway Park. And it's just another example of it's too much. This is really bad, Butchie. It's terrible. It's terrible. I was answering the questions yesterday from people, reporters, the stories. I just looked down at the chat, and Mr. Anderson, Stevie Anderson, how do you track this in person when they do it over the counter?
There's cameras.
It's a daily battle, because if somebody does it at one property for $100, and then they go to another one of your properties and does it for $100, and they do it for another time for $100, and you put it all together, all of a sudden you could have a much bigger risk on something. Doing the job is more than just sitting in front of screens. You can't just sit there and not pay attention. These bet tickers flow. Different things happen. They get you in the morning shift. They get you in the afternoon shift. They must know when there's a shift change. So the morning guy didn't see the afternoon thing. There's a bunch of different ways. It's a daily battle. And if you give people an opening like this, they take it. These guys tried to take not just a finger. They tried to take their whole arm. Like, you took the whole body.
Does that, as the book, does that make you more mad that they went back to just take you once? They tried to do it twice.
Well, now the books can, void the bets and say it was this and say it was that. You can hold the money. I mean, like, back in the day and in places far away, down south, across the pond, whatever, you couldn't do anything back then. You just go, yep, they got me. And now I got to watch for all of them again. Okay. So what's the book's defense now? Anybody that bet that parlay can't bet more than $1.50 on anything ever. And that's why are we limited?
Alex is here, so I want to get to it. Right. But I just want to say one more quick thing about that, because a lot of times, and you've pointed this out to me privately, but when we see people go public on Twitter and they start complaining about being limited at the book, the question always is, why were you limited? Like they going out the book, but they leave out the part of like this story. Like, well, you were doing something nefarious, and that's why the book limited you. It wasn't that like I'm just a general old player. I'm just some guy off the street, and they're going to limit me, so they're going to limit you, and they don't tell the truth as to why they got limited.
Right.
That happens a lot.
There's two sides to the story. We only hear one on the social media.
The crying.
The one that's the best is why I win. Oh, you always win. Okay. Yeah, that's great. There's different ways. We don't have to limit you. We'll hire you. If you're that good, we'll make you a job offer. But now they don't ever tell that part of the story where we commiserated on a Telegram group Discord channel, and we let everybody know that we had the guy and he wasn't going to play more than 5 minutes, and you could put them all together. Everybody eats. Oh, okay, great.
All right, we are really psyched. We've been teasing this for a while. It is time to start Whale Watcher Wednesdays here on the Bostonian versus the book. He is one Mr. Alex Kane, joining us here on BVB from Sport Trade. Alex, Matt, and Dave, we are so psyched to have you. Thanks for being here. What is up on this Wednesday, now being rebranded Whale Watcher Wednesdays?
I'm so excited. Can y'all hear me?
Oh, yeah, you're good.
Sounds fantastic. And your
Dave,
hair,
I'm wearing this shirt for you, buddy.
Look at that. The Sixer stuff. Listen, that's great. Thank you for support, because it's all about Boston. It's nonstop Celtics crap, and nobody wants to hear about that. But we want to hear about Sport Trade, and we need someone to explain it to people who may not understand exactly where you're licensed. What exactly are you doing, Alex? Start off with that.
Perfect. So I'm really excited to be doing this with you guys. I think we should probably start with how this came to be.
Yes.
So I'm in Philly. It's a Friday afternoon, and I'm walking down the street, and I see a guy with a flat brim hat, and I think to myself, I've seen that hat on Twitter earlier today.
That's right.
And it's Dave, and he's just sort of wandering down 16th Street and we start talking. And you tell me what you're up to, and I'd been following the show to that point, and here we are. So like, we're so excited to help share our story with you guys and help you guys amplify it. So yeah, excited about that. So
I was there to see my daughters and all this other stuff and stuff, but it was WrestleMania weekend in Philadelphia. So today I wore the WrestleMania shirt, the Hulk Hogan shirt, to remind myself of literally you coming up behind me out of nowhere, out of some office building. And I got to say, I mean, you look great on the show, but like that hair is as obvious as me wearing a flat brim hat. I see you and I go, what are you doing? And we come up with this Whale Watcher Wednesday.
We had even thought about that. Like, we came up with that idea just standing there on the sidewalk. It ended up being like a 15-20 minute chat, which is great. And one of our partners that helps us put the liquidity up here at Sport Trade, he walks out and he saw my mop top, the redhead. So that was a good conversation. And here we are.
So when someone comes in and says, what is Sport Trade? What's the elevator pitch that you guys give to a customer that could be either in Iowa, Colorado, or New Jersey, or an adjacent state that wants to go into the state to play? What is Sport Trade?
Simplest way to think about Sport Trade is that it's a premium sports betting experience. So if you're out there and you're listening, why would you try Sport Trade? A couple reasons. One is the prices on the platform are insane. Dave, we were showing you, a 9-cent spread on a MLB total. So the first things first is the pricing is insane. You're going to see prices on Sport Trade you have never seen before. That's the first thing. The second thing is what we've got going on in in-play betting. If you're out there and you've placed an in-play bet and you get that spinny wheel, we don't have any of that. All bets are instantly accepted, and we have some great liquidity in play as well. And then the third part, which I think is the coolest part for more of that player that's looking for a little bit more out of their sports betting experience, is it's very human-led concierge service. So a real human texts you right when you sign up. A real human texts you when you have an issue. We have a platform called the brokerage service where customers will come in, text us and say, hey, I see there's 4,000 available on tonight's money line. Can I get 10K? And we'll work with our liquidity providers to put it in there. So our VIP players love that because they're sort of kind of sick and tired of like we'll get back to your 15th in the queue sort of thing. We're small enough right now that it's myself, it's David, it's Lacey. You guys have met everybody that will help you out as a customer. So Sport Trade's a premium sports betting experience. If you're looking for great prices, great liquidity, and honestly, like a human support, Sport Trade is something you should check out.
We're going to talk about the whale watchers and the big plays, but you don't have to be a big player to be involved with Sport Trade. And what we've talked about both on that corner and in some of these calls is you're looking to take bets, not restrict people from betting. So if they want more, like old school, you're looking to accommodate people first and create the market. Like people are saying, oh, you're literally market makers in that regard, right?
Totally. It's the old business model, right? Like we have this feature we'll talk about in a little bit called the tape, but essentially people can see all these bets coming through on Sport Trade in real time. And even today, Wednesdays are great for us because of golf. We'll take a $15,000 limit bet and then move the line. And in one case, the customer came back and we moved the limit up to 25 and he bet 25 at the new price. So take a bet and move the line. That's sort of the idea. We don't think it's a groundbreaking. It's not a new idea. I think what's cool about Sport Trade is it's a new application of an old idea, right? And I think you hit the nail on the head. It's not just for big players. It's not just for players that love great prices. When you open the app, you're going to get a feel for something that's really unique to a DraftKings or FanDuel. Yes, we got the meat and potatoes. We got great prices. We have main lines, player props, futures, these sort of things. But it's in play when you start to, even as a $10 bettor, that idea of like, oh my gosh, well, I'm going to bet this $10 here on the, Phillies money line, and then they score a run and you get a really fair cash out offer and right away you cash that bet out. We really want to take that kind of sharp book model and elevate it and start to bring in others that, as you mentioned, Dave, may not be big bettors.
So the chat's flowing and they're in love with this and they're all asking questions. Are you guys looking to be in different states? J-Dal Betts is talking about Maryland. Are you guys going to be actively pursuing that where you may be in other states besides Colorado, Iowa, and New Jersey?
So we hope to be in 2 more states come the start of the football season. We can't, we're going to try to announce that as soon as we're able to with the regulations and regulators, and definitely don't want to, I believe in karma. So I don't want to say, hey, we're going to be in this state, and the regulator tune in and be like, oh, really? Yeah. Maryland's a state. I saw this. I mean, it actually will surprise you to know that they watch all this stuff. You create a body of work for them, and they look at all. That's their job. They're investigators. They want to make sure they're giving licenses to people that are, that should have a license. So would love to be in Maryland. That's not a state, 2024 state for us. Maryland's a kind of unique one. They have 60 spots, only 20 are taken, and we're trying to compel the regulator to reopen the applications, and they're basically saying, well, no one really wants to apply, which is not true. We'd love to apply. So I think Maryland's a state we'd love to get into in 2025. But yeah, we want to get into 5 states here come football season, continue to iterate the product, bring it into a small handful of states again in 2025, and, crawl, walk, run, and be in a position where 2-3 years from now, we're in 15, 20 states.
So I've asked you this question off the air. I'm going to ask you so everybody can see it and understand it. You don't have to be in a state to see what you're doing. You can download the app and you can see, and the education process will start because you're going to see when you download this app, you guys have the best prices on almost everything that you offer. And it's frustrating when you live in different places and you go, the only options I have are these prices. How are you able to survive on this business, Alex?
So that's the other really cool thing about Sport Trade. One thing that's very unique. So you're listening to this, Sport Trade might be new to you. How can Sport Trade come up with these great prices? Which is your question, Dave. The answer to the question is that the prices that you see on the platform are the result or the output of competition on the supply side level. So what that means is we work with multiple trading teams, and those multiple trading team 1 may say, I'm willing to offer plus 110 on the Brewers money line. And trading team 2 might say, I'm willing to offer plus 115. Well, guess what? We're going to show you first. We're going to show you plus 115. And so there's the X factor for sport trade, is that competitive element that happens behind the scenes, such that you as a consumer can look at the prices. And in general, it's about minus 105 lines. That includes something called a commission, which is what we take for kind of facilitating all this. And to your point, it's competitive. But even better than that, there's always a price. So if you take something out for max size, immediately there's going to be another price offer, because again, we're sourcing those offers from multiple licensed trading teams. So that's how we make it happen.
So the tape is really interesting, and you showed it to us on the call, but this is available for all iOS devices for Sport Trade in real time. So if I'm hearing this correctly, the tape is an actual real-time view of the bets being placed on Sport Trade, correct?
Correct. And you don't have to have an account. You don't have to log in. You don't have to have a balance. You don't even have to be in any of the states, specific states. You could be anywhere. You download the app, and the cool thing about it is the transparency element, right? We want to show you where is the action going. Just now, let's see, someone put $100 on, Wyndham Clark at a price of about 75 to 1. If I look at DraftKings, just pulling up who's got what, they've got 55 to 1. So to your point, Dave, right away you're getting that idea of, oh wow, 75 to 1, 55 to 1, interesting. And that's the idea. Like, you can go down the list and you're seeing people bet golf, you're seeing people bet main lines on baseball. We got Nerfies and Yerfies first 5 innings. We got pitcher Ks, hits, earned runs, everything you want. One thing we don't yet have is parlays. So we're trying to focus really on trying to give players like the most premium experience, best price, and so on and so forth for in-play and pre-game bets.
Is that an accurate description, picturing the New York Stock Exchange except with bets? Is that accurate, or is it different than that?
It's totally the same. Totally the same thing. I mean, and I think that's great information, right? Like, why is a line moving? Is a line moving because of bets? Is a line moving because we're copying other venues? I think what you'll find, and something really unique about Sport Trade, particularly for our golf markets, is that these trading teams I mentioned that we work with can be quite opinionated at times, which is great. Why is that great? Because they're going to be willing to offer a price that's better than the entire universe of bookmakers on a certain side, because they want to get on that side.
Right.
And what does that allow you to do as a customer? If you're more of an advanced customer, you can do something called arbitrage, where you're taking the Sport Trade side at a certain price, and then you're taking the opposite side at, let's say, a Caesars or Circa, or DraftKings or whatever. But even if you're not trying to do that, you're seeing, wow, everyone else is offering 55 to 1 on Wyndham Clark, and Sport Trade is offering 75 to 1. That price is there because that trading team wants that bet. And so that's what's so cool. And then we work with odd screens like Unabated, where folks can kind of just see this. Again, you don't even have to be a Sport Trade user to find value, both from the tape, as you mentioned, Matt, but also going on these odd screens and saying, Sport Trade has an opinion. What does this mean as it pertains to what side I think I should be on, whether it's, as I mentioned, spread, money line, total, outright, future, whatever.
And you guys are actually taking the bets. So like I've explained to people, when you're in the business and you're actually taking the bets, you can have an opinion. You better be right more than you're wrong. Otherwise, you're going to lose. This is your lifeblood every day. You're booking the games. That's what I always say when we have these pitches and these other things. Who's booking the games? You got really smart guys and teams and people working on your teams. You guys are doing it yourselves, right?
Yep. We work with outsourced like trading teams, but the great thing about the way the platform works is that we show you how much you can bet, and that number is identical for every single person. It is like people ask us, like, do you limit? And we always joke internally of like, man, we wouldn't even know where to, like, we can't even, how would we do that? How would we limit a player?
That's right. That's a good thing. That's a selling point, Alex. We can't limit.
Right.
The software doesn't do it. We will. The only way we'll limit is ask if you want more, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So that's something really cool about the site is that the concept of like sports betting as we think it should be is that it's a game of skill. And in order for it to be a game of skill, in order for people to think that the game is fair, there has to be winners. And of course, there has to be losers. And the idea, I think, that what makes sports trade different is that we sort of recognize that, like, you can't mess with, for lack of a better word I could have used, you can't mess with that equilibrium. You can't pull the winners out and keep the losers. Because what ends up happening is people say to themselves, how fair is this? And I think there's a place in the market, obviously, for DraftKings, FanDuel, Caesars, and they're doing what they're doing, and that's great. What we're trying to say is we're trying to come up and cook up a slightly different form of sports betting where everybody's welcome. And we recognize, could we probably made more money if we limit winners? Yes, but like our DNA, our ethos, like we would all just quit. Like if we did, like it would not be interesting to us anymore. So that's what makes us unique. That's what players can, and it doesn't matter how successful you are. We have players. There are weekends where we're going to lose $1 million based on these golf results. And we're back with more size that next week. And we're saying, hey, we're here to, we're betting too, right? That's the whole idea. That's the sports betting industry. You're allowed to lose. Hopefully you win more than you lose. But when you lose, you try to figure out what you did wrong, as opposed to just like take this sort of, let's just like cut these players off. So that's what makes us, that's another, differentiator for us.
Well, let's talk about the whale tracking. And this is from LL. Love when you post the live whale tracker. We're going to post the live whale tracker on the screen during the times we talk to you throughout every Wednesday with Whale Watcher Wednesdays. But what is the whale tracker you guys have?
So the whale tracker is the tape, which we mentioned in the app, is just a real-time feed of every single bet distilled onto Twitter, where we just take only the bets that are $3,000 or more. If I were to look at the tape today, like today's been an amazing day. We opened up 12-cent lines on golf matchups with 15K limits. And then once folks bet into those,
how good that is. Like, that's awesome, because that's not even close to what golf matchups are nowadays. That's great.
Right. So, and then the cool thing about it is as soon as a max limit bet is taken, so someone comes in and takes 15K, obviously the trading team is now aware that their order has been taken out and they got to come back with a new price, right? That's their job, to put in a two-way price. Those limits went from 15 to 25. So we had players across the board starting around 11 a.m. Eastern betting max size. We probably took 20 to 25 golf matchups at 15K to 25K. And then just this afternoon, we put in round over-unders. Those are about 18 to 20 cent lines, which again, I think is slightly more competitive than what's out there for $7,500 limits. And the cool thing about that is we saw that as lines were moving, there was two-way action. And that's where you want to be. Like, that's the dream, right? Dave, as you mentioned, like you probably dream about like, oh man, if I could just get the line just right and get two-way flow, get on the right side.
That's it.
And that's so cool to see. Like, people were taking Ludwig Aberg's over and then Ludwig Aberg's under at slightly different prices. So everyone's happy. Customers got a great price, better than the way they could have found anywhere else. Sport Trade does really well, and the trading team does well because they found the equilibrium. They moved their market and they were able to take two bets that sort of offset each other from a risk perspective and took a small 1 or 2% big.
So all you want to do is get to the number. Move the damn number. I say it all the time. I'm going to put it on T-shirts, and we're going to sell it together if we have to, and we'll put a Sport Trade logo on it too, because that's all you want to do is the book. But you've talked about this in other public forums, and you've been very good on the Twitter talking about it. What are the hurdles for Sport Trade, like the limitations and trying to expand? I mean, you face a unique type of situation in some of these states, right, of even just getting to the table, don't you?
So yes, that is something that we're beginning to work on in earnest now. We are like me standing here is the result of like the incredible work that our team does. We're 35 people. It's amazing the amount of multitasking you have to sort of do as a smaller operator in, let's be honest, a space designed for the big boys. I mean, they wrote the rules in a lot of ways, and they work with casinos and leagues and teams, and we're here saying like, hey, this is what's best for the customer. In fact, we love competition. We love Prime coming to the market. We love Circa. Like, the whole idea is you want customers to get the best price, and over time, whether it's 11 being bigger than 10 or 102 being bigger than 100, and wherever our VIG ends up being, the idea is you can make a very, very small percentage at the end of the day. That's where we want to be. We want to create an ecosystem where players are just using it, and we'll try to figure out how to make money later. That's sort of our ethos. In terms of what we're doing now, we are starting to get more involved from a lobbying perspective and educating legislators and saying, okay, all sports betting isn't created equal, right? You have the DraftKings and FanDuel, and that's great in your market. And that's great for tax revenue. And they're going to charge the 10, 12, 15%. And I'm not going to be here to say that players should or shouldn't do that, right? They're going to choose with their wallet, and that's great. The fact is, though, that's not all of the market. What states may be missing out on is if they don't create a pathway for companies like a Prime or like a Sporttrade, smaller, innovative companies trying to do something different, they're telling their constituents, hey, I want you to continue to play offshore. And we saw this at the Massachusetts Gaming Commission hearing where Captain Jack even came in and said, look, I'm someone that I can't even bet at all the licensees that you've decided to enter this, that you've decided to license. And so where am I to go? Am I going to stop betting? Of course not. I'm going to use an unregulated option. And so what we try to sort of introduce that nuance to legislators is say, hey, look, different sports betting options can be for different parts of your market. And you have to recognize that the economics that are going to work for a DraftKings or FanDuel are not going to be the economics that are going to allow us to come in and do something that's so important for you, which is to tell your constituent, I see you, and I would love for you to play on a regulated option, and I'm going to give you a realistic chance to do so. Because a lot of these bigger books don't give players the chance to do that. So we're actually trying to put together potentially a panel at Bet Bash about just this, about how players themselves can get involved in telling legislators, because legislators actually love that sort of testimony from their constituency as to why different sports betting options need to be in a market. Because we're never going to say DraftKings and FanDuel shouldn't be there. They're going to be long-term winners in the space. What we're saying is, let us come in and try something innovative, try to bring in new players, try to teach players about a different way to think about sports betting. And ultimately, if we're paying tax and we're paying license fees, you're now telling your constituencies, hey, you have a chance to go and play on a regulated site as opposed to staying in the unregulated market. So it's actually an area where I'm very passionate about, as you could probably tell, and we're getting more and more involved in.
No, it's really cool. The ticker, I think, is really wild too, because the idea of watching bets be placed live, do you think that could ever become the norm if people start to see it on Sporttrade and they're like, this is cool. Why doesn't my book here do this? Could that change the way people are asking of their books, given what you guys are doing?
I would love for that to be the case. We kind of launched this feature, and the first reason we did it is we all sat internally and be like, oh, there's a lot of bets going through Sporttrade. I think people may not know this about us, because if you think about from the player's perspective, there's players in your audience that are kind of like, whoa, Sporttrade and this red-haired guy and the Sixers, what's the shirt he's wearing? I've never heard of this brand. And it's a huge decision, right, as a customer, to go ahead and create your account and give that information and link your bank account and start using it. That's a huge barrier. And we don't have the ads on TV. This is why exactly I'm standing here right now and love to work with you guys. And the tape helps us do that. The tape helps us tell the story to the guy or gal we haven't met before. Oh, someone just bet $10,000 on so-and-so. Oh, someone just bet $56 on Tennessee. Oh, someone just bet $10 on Hideki Matsuyama. So the legitimacy first. But to your point, Matt, I could foresee a day, we're working on enhancements where we'll tell you if you can actually tail a trade. So if you're logged in and you're in Colorado, New Jersey, Iowa, and you say, man, I really love Ludwig Oberg's over, or I love Dallas. We have Dallas at plus 225, which has to be the best price in the market for game one. Yep. You can just swipe and copy that trade. And so I think an ecosystem can start to be built on top of the tape to the point where a sportsbook could look at that and go, oh, I see what they're doing. That could be interesting for me to add, because it may just be that folks are opening Sporttrade because they just want to see what's going on. And that's exactly our vision. You open this at halftime of an NBA game and the favorite's down 10 points. It's like that meme you always post, Dave, of the waterfall of bets going in. This is the waterfall.
Yep.
So,
real time and
real
taking bets without an approval. So you guys have to answer to your trading teams and yourselves, which is fantastic. I'm looking right now, plus 225 on the Dallas Mavericks money line for game 1 of the NBA Finals tomorrow night is by far the only next one that's even higher than 200 is plus 205. There's not another price higher than plus 205. So it's the best price. I mean, I don't want to say 100% of the time, but you'll see what's out there. Last question from me, sir, before we let you go. And again, we thank you so much for partnering up and doing all this. Hopefully you like the logo and everything else. We can always change. Whatever you need, we'll work on it. But the graduated tax thing in Illinois, I saw you actively talking about that from the small guy, up and coming, whatever you want to call yourself where you're at. We had a lot of buzz. We had a lot of people talk about it. Altruda talked about it on here with us, and we've interviewed people. Is this good for you, the graduated tax thing? Like, does that help a smaller operator like yourself or no?
It does. It totally does. I think that like sports betting was never really designed to be taxed at the higher rate that Illinois proposed, which is the 40% range. But the very fair flip side to that is that when we came up with these tax rates and legislators passed this, they didn't know about the same game parlay 20% hold product either. So what's a way to solve this? My crazy idea, which a lot of folks talk about on Twitter, is a tax rate based on your hold. Think about it. It could be this simple. Take your hold rate. So if you accepted $1 million of bets and you paid out 900,000, you've held 10%.
Right.
You've taken in $1 million of bets from your jurisdiction and you've paid out zero. The hold would be, you've paid out all million, the hold would be 0%. The more you hold, the more room you have to pay tax. So what if it was as simple as 3 times your hold rate equals your tax rate? So if you hold 3%, that's what we're trying to hold, 2%, 3%, you pay a 9% tax. But if you come in and you bat the hell out of the customer and you hold 20%, you pay a 60% tax.
Oh!
It's not based on the size, the amount of your revenue. It's based on how harmful the product you're offering is to the constituent. If you think about it, it makes a lot of sense because it allows the Illinois of the world to say to DraftKings, yeah, but you told me you were going to hold 5% and now you're holding 10%. And so if I do this based on hold, I get more tax revenue and you're still making more money than you told me you were going to make anyhow, win-win. But on the lower side, it allows a Prime, a Circa, a Pinnacle, a Sport Trade, a Profit to come in and go in and accept all those winning players that you don't want, which is going to drive their hold down, which means their costs are higher and they pay a lower tax. Like that is honestly one way to do this is a progressive tax rate based on your hold rate. But to answer your question more generally, something that is graduated, I love the concept because it gives the small guy, the small gal a chance to say,
a shot.
I have this idea.
That's all you want.
It gives us a shot,
right? That's just give me a
exactly.
shot. If I could reach through the camera right now and kiss you right now, I would. I'm so excited. What you just said changed all kinds of people's thoughts. And man, I am so rooting for you. P-Roll, ask him one more question before we let him go.
Well, I love what our audience is doing. So they're doing what Dave just did. That they are shopping prices at the moment. So Patrick Kentley, round 1 is under 71.5 for tomorrow's round, minus 145 at DraftKings. It's plus 120 for you guys. That's a pretty damn good difference in price.
What was Dave just saying about make sure the price is right and lock all windows and doors?
Because that's a hell of a point, right? That's a hell of a find, AOWN. So that's what I'm in love with. Our audience is doing exactly what Dave just did. They're going shopping in comparison and finding the different prices that you guys have at Sport Trade versus other sports books. I don't have a question. I just want to say thank you. I'm so excited to do this every Wednesday. Having you back on, we'll put the tape on the screen in the next segment, the next time we talk, and go through all of this every Wednesday for Whale Watcher. Thank you. The Brigade is going to love this. We think this is so in line with what we talk about every day. The partnership's going to be phenomenal. Alex, thank you for your time. We can't wait to get going. Talk to you next week as well.
Seriously, thank you guys. I love the show and looking forward to a huge summer. Awesome.
Alex Kane, Sport Trade, joining us here on the Bostonian versus the Book every Wednesday. Whale Watcher Wednesday. Well, Watch Wednesday will be with us.
I mean, are you kidding me? I'm after the show. I'm going to go to the wife and say, I got to go to Philadelphia. And she's going to be like, why? I said, I got to sit in the room with them and just watch it all work. I will sit and watch. You know when I'm excited about something.
Oh, yeah.
The first phone call, we're talking. I mean, I got excited when we were at that street corner in Philadelphia. I was lost. I was looking for Mitchell and Ness to go get another hat. And Alex says, Dave, boom, we start talking. Now, that's the book. Those guys are booking the games. That's all you want. Like, I didn't have the app until we had our call with them yesterday.
Right.
I can't. Guys, it's girls, guys are watching the show. It's going to be frustrating because you're going to see prices when you're not in the state you're in.
Right.
That you can't get until Sport Trade gets all over. But you got to look at this tape thing. You got to follow them on Twitter. Go do it immediately and pay attention because they book with an opinion. And that's the way it used to be. That's the only way I knew.
Really cool. So looking forward to the partnership, looking forward to the summer going through all the way to football season with Whale Watch Wednesdays here with Sport Trade and BVB. It's a complete perfect match.
What do you think of that graduated?
I absolutely love that idea. I think that is an absolutely Massachusetts should listen to that because they had the shot of going up to 51% and it was kicked back and that's too aggressive. Well, this gives you a chance to hold the books accountable for the number that they're going to claim they're holding. You're going to tell us 5? Great. You tell us 10? Great. You can set whatever you want, but your hold percentage is going to be what you're going to be taxed on, not revenue. And I think that's tremendous.
It's fair for
it's
everybody.
100% fair.
If you want
Alex explained it perfectly. Yeah.
If you want a business model that holds 2 to 3%, you're going to pay 3 times that amount. If you want a business model that's going to hold 20%, you're going to have to pay a lot of taxes. You're going to have to decide as a business, wait, where are we at here? What are we doing?
Why is your brother so?
You can get enough volume. That's it.
Why is he so mean? Why is Dan so mean?
Dan is so mean to me. That's fine. That's fine. I don't want to stay with you anyway. No, I do. I do want to stay with you. That's fine. I will find you.
It makes a lot of sense. It really does. I mean, Fauci's in love with it. I love it. I think it is. That's one of the best ideas I've heard in terms of what's fair to tax the books at.
So again, from a lifetime of taking the bets and being in the book, what's the other side? What's the resistance to that idea? What does the lobbyist hear from DraftKings and FanDuel, the Burger King and McDonald's of all this? What do they say? Wait, hold on. That's not fair.
Correct. They're going to say, as you're limiting our ability to make money in your state. Do you want us to make money or not? And if you have us be such a high level where we have to, if we're claiming, holding 10, 11, 12%, that's good for us. It's good for you too, but it's good for us. Tax everybody at that because they want to keep the little guy out. They don't want it to be fair. They don't want Sport Trade. They don't want Prime. They don't want a book, a Circa. They don't want those books to be active in their state because then people start to ask questions. They're going to ask questions. I mean, Whitrock, as a resident of Iowa, I'm super excited for this. Good. I'm excited for you, Kevin. That's awesome. Colorado and Jersey as well.
Everybody that listens or watches the show from Iowa, do yourself a favor and just download the app. Just so you can see. It's an education process. Like you need to learn. Oh, how dare you educate our customers? That good job, Pierre. That might be what somebody might say.
It's a fair point. Stand up there. How dare you make the public more informed? We like them ignorant. We don't want them to know the price. We don't want them to understand that price matters. Yeah, and I think that one of the most interesting things about me doing the Daily Juice and working with you here on this show is that people come to me and they say, Matt, thank you for educating me. And every time they do that, I feel wrong. Like I don't feel appropriate because it's not from me, it's from you. So I always say, look, I've just been very lucky to be sitting here every day and having these types of conversations with Dave because so many people want to be sitting in my chair and having these conversations with you. I feel very blessed and lucky to be able to do it. And then to be able to partake that and show other people. An educated public is dangerous in every facet. Politics to betting, it's dangerous. They don't want people to be educated. They don't want people to know and ask the questions of, wait a second, why is that like that? Because I'm just supposed to take it? Why? I can do other things. And somebody comes in and shows you the light and you go, oh, like in-game betting, right? I mean, or hedging off of taking positions and hedging, the things that you have taught me. And like, it makes perfect sense when someone shows it to you, but you don't know what you don't know.
And I think just a lesson in life is that just because somebody with a title or a position or a fancy ass suit tells you doesn't mean it's true. You have to seek out trusted sources in life. You have to listen to people that are doing it. Now, they're not always right either, but you got to get down some levels. You got to go up some levels. You got to, ride up and down the elevator and stop at each floor and listen and then learn and educate yourself. Alex putting the ticker on the screen, there might be some people that go,
he did what? They're doing what?
Why are they doing that? What? Like, because that's just that the transparency, bringing stuff to light. Some people don't want it, but I think a lot of people do when they're just doing it. He just said we can make it on 3%. We can make it. We're going to be okay. Just book the bets.
Alex in the chat. Boy. Look at that. 8K came in on Lugwood.
Look at that.
17. There's your whale watch right there. 8,000.
8,000 on Oberg over 71.5 minus 117. Okay. That's Memorial Wednesdays every week. We're going to have this going on. The golf betting is big. Apparently, everybody says it's big. Well, we're going to see it.
A lot of hands just slap desks. Damn it!
What are those two jagoffs doing on Bostonian versus Book? How did they get Kane? How did they get the big redhead on the show?
What are they doing? How are they doing it? Well,
I love that logo too, by the way.
It is. Looks great. It looks phenomenal.
Looks great.
Sonic,
job,
you're the
Sonic.
best.
Thank you.
You're the best, man.
You, sir.
Absolutely. So we were talking about, a scandal before we had Alex on.
Yep.
Otani watch time, because baseball is trying to sell something that I don't know passes the smell test. So Otani watch here. Major League Baseball is claiming that the Otani case is closed.
Boom.
That because Ipe is facing 33 years in jail and admitted to stealing money, that it's close it up. Nothing to see here. We're all moving on.
Moving on. Thanks for coming.
Major League Baseball literally said Major League Baseball considers the case against Otani closed.
Sure.
Do we?
Huh. Counselor Peralta does not. I know
I
that.
I do not consider.
Hold on.
I do not consider this case closed.
Hold on. We need an extension. We need a stay. Hold on, Judge. We need a recess here. This is not over. This is. I don't think this is over. To Jontay Porter, it's not over. Just because Major League Baseball said it's an open and shut case, like the meat curtains, open and shut. If you guys know, you know. Just dropping it in there. So, Will, I'm seeing if you're paying attention. I don't know if I can say it or not. Is it closed? What? Like yesterday's timing of the guys in the minor leagues, and the one, was a part-time major leaguer and gone for the day. Small potatoes. Those were guys get by $100. The one,
$99 in total. He bet.
Yeah.
Lost $700,000 in salary.
Ipe's number was a little bit bigger than that.
Just a little. 33 years or more in jail he's facing, and he pled guilty. So he is saying, I am guilty of doing what they are accusing me of doing. But the idea that there's nothing to see here with Shohei Otani, that we're not going to get actual like A, B, C, D. This is how this went down, because Ipe stands up and says, I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I did it. Wait a minute. Okay. So you're taking the fall. That's fine. I still want to know what Otani knew. When did he know it? And how did this all unfold?
It's closed. The book's closed. We don't open it back up, right? It's done. Now play ball. We're in Pittsburgh today.
I agree.
It's Day.
This is a big sweeping under the rug.
Oh,
This is just get rid of this as fast as physically possible.
what's under there? What's under that road?
Nothing happened here that our number one global international $600 million player had nothing to do with sports betting. He was a victim in all of this. Aside from the wire transfers going back and forth and the things that could have, all that, nothing. We're not asking any questions anymore, guys. Like, if you're a major news organization, I implore you to get Rob Manfred on a camera and have him say case closed and that's it. And have somebody who actually knows the case and ask real questions to the commissioner about how do you just consider, given what is going on in the NBA with Jontay Porter and what we just saw with how that all went down, how are you going to say, we're done? This is nothing to see here. We're not going to investigate this anymore.
They went and got Brucey at JFK, and they got Brucey transferring 65 dimes via PayPal and asking more questions about that. And then this guy, we got him. It's $5 million a pop, or 500,000. It was 500,000. I apologize. If you're going to fact check, I'll try to be 100% factually correct. $500,000 transfers multiple times.
9 times.
We didn't know. He didn't know. I didn't know. You still didn't know. Okay. Where did those go? They got the guys. They were talking. There's going to be, this is far from over. This is from Major League Baseball standpoint, okay, yeah, it's over. There's going to be plea deals. There's still people poking around in Vegas, talking to people about other things. This is not closed.
No,
not at all.
Not even close to being closed in my mind. But baseball is trying desperately to just go up, case closed, nothing to see here. Ignore the dead body. Just keep walking, everybody. Like, don't talk about what just happened. It's insane to me. If you want integrity, if their whole thing is integrity, you would want this to be as disinfected as possible. You want bright sunshine in all of this. You need to show everyone exactly what went down. And instead, there are more questions being asked now because baseball called it closed. Like, baseball should just shut up. Like, get away from the story. Don't talk about it. You coming out and saying, case closed. Are you worried about Ipe on the witness stand? Are you worried that he might change his mind?
Because the sentencing's not till October, I believe, right?
He looks like a fall guy to me. I mean, he looks like a guy that was told to take a jive, to go ahead and take the rap for this. You'll be made whole on the other side.
A lot of questions.
Young guy. I wonder how much money he would need to, $600 million. Hey, you have $100 million waiting for you on the other side. Serve 8 years. You have $100 million. You can do 8 years in jail, 10 years in jail. You come out, you're 25, whatever, you were 35 years old. You have $100 million waiting for you.
Wow.
It's plausible. I'm not saying it happened, but it's plausible.
I don't know, Counselor Peralt. We're going to have a recess. We're going to have to discuss this. I don't know. There's more. Again, you said it. There's more questions than answers. This is not closed.
Nope. Not. It's. He won't do 8. Maybe he won't. But I don't know how many. I mean, he's up to 33 years. So I mean, he could do 2, 3. He's going to jail. It's a federal indictment. He's going to jail. It doesn't matter how long he's going to jail for.
Right.
But maybe he'll do a year, maybe 2 years.
Oh man.
So not good.
No.
Ipe Dufresne. His name is Ipe Dufresne.
Oh boy.
That's tremendous.
Oh boy.
18 months, Butchie says. 18 months.
Wow.
Then I'll do a couple of house arrests. Look at you for 2 years. Someone says, hey, you do 2 years in jail. 2 years in jail sucks, but you'll come out and you're going to have more money than you'll ever know what to do with when you come out the other side.
For those of you guys familiar with the case, with the show, put in type it in the chat. Is he going to jail at all? What if he doesn't go to jail at all?
Wow. He doesn't go to jail at all. Then 100%. He's 100%. He was paid off 100%. If he doesn't go at all. Supervised probation, 18 months in jail with supervised probation. Yeah, fine. 18 months in jail with Proe? Sure.
Wow.
I mean, yeah. 100% I'd do it. I would do it in 2 seconds.
Definitely, we have to have a lawyer on at some point. We'll reach out to some lawyers and see if they want to come on and tell us what the options are and how the case can just be closed. Oh,
well, no,
June 5th,
that's
case
easy.
is closed according to MLB.
Yeah, that's easy. Saying the government case is closed against Ipe, they got their whale and they're good. They're done. It's MLB's investigation that we're talking about, not criminal. We're talking about they can suspend him for anything. Otani can be expelled, kicked out for anything. It's up to them. It's their league. It's a private organization. They're the ones saying, nope, all done. Before the trial, before anything else. They're going, okay, yeah, it's all good. So, speaking of the Black Sox, the White Sox blew a 5-0 lead last night. The Cubs lost their 12th game in a row. White Sox are now 5-25 on the road. I luckily came in. They were down 5-0, rain delay. I bet them at plus 500 to come back and win the game, and they won the game 7-6. Fetty against Talion today. Talion's minus 195 at Wrigley.
Ironically, Jameson Taillon was the pitcher of record the last time the Pirates were favored against the Dodgers.
Interesting.
In Pittsburgh.
In his heyday.
2018, June 7th. Hat tip to Ralph Michaels, who sent me a text at 5 o'clock this morning, my time, with all the results of the search, how many times they've been favored over the Dodgers. It's 8 times in the last 11 years, which they are today. That doesn't have anything to do with the Cubs and the White Sox. Did you see the price? Is there any reason to take the White Sox today? Because they were up 5-0 yesterday. I was on with Wetzel on Sports Grid. I said, you have to take plus 4.5, plus 140 was the current number. You got 4.5 runs, down 5 in the 5th, plus money. You took a stab at 5-1 outright money line. After the rain delay, it worked out okay, didn't it?
Look, if the White Sox bullpen gets involved in any game with the lead, bet against them. Just blindly bet against them. That is, I mean, they're awful. I mean, their bullpen is awful. They got nobody. You can get anybody out.
No.
2-run home run, 2-run home run. It was 5-1, 2-run Jack, 2-run Jack. Jack for Robert, 6-5, 2-run Jack, 7-6 win.
I just hearing you say Jack over all those multiple times, I thought of you jacking up and down while watching the game. Were you jacking up and down?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't even watching it. I just bet it. It just went and just I get alerts. Home run, home run, home run. Okay, I win. Like I don't need to. It was great.
Wait, you got that Flash Score app set up like you did with the goals with the hockey, with the home runs?
I get a text message for every home run in Major League Baseball.
Ay.
Every home
every
run,
day?
Every day. Every home run, every day.
Oh
I get an alert. So I guess
you serious?
Yeah, so Rafael Devers today, 2 home runs. Rafi Devers went deep twice today. So every home run.
That's
great.
Just what you need.
It's phenomenal. It keeps me when I make a bet or live bet, I'm just going to go ahead and watch it, and it's great. It alerts me and tells me what's going on. I love it. It's tremendous. Pirates blanked the Dodgers. Jared Jones, he had been bad for 4 straight starts. He was awesome yesterday.
He was good yesterday. Hit 101 on the gun. I saw.
Jared Jones, high. Everyone's talking about Skeens. We're talking about that kid against the Dodgers. Skeens today, minus 109 at most books. First time pitchers being favored since 2018. How do you feel about your Pirates today?
Oh, it's
only one
day. I'm excited. I think
only one bet to make.
What? Don't tell me the K prop.
No, I don't do K props. You know that.
Game under?
No. Complete opposite.
Game over. Pirate team total over.
If you want, they hit for him. 4-0 to the over. And Paxton's good, bad, good, bad. If you're going by last 6 starts, he's gone good, bad, good, bad. He's due for a bad start.
So it was good, bad, good, bad, good, and now this start.
Now this start. So he's good to be bad for the Dodgers.
Okay.
So
it's only the third time I saw Ben and Donnie this morning on the morning line. Ben referenced it. I've seen it on Twitter, but I love giving people credit when I see it and hear it. I always say it. It's the third time all season that the Dodgers have been dogs.
Wow.
Paxton will turn into a pumpkin, Mr. C.
I bet that'll happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Over. I have over 8.
I think it's interesting, right? The Skeens price is still being discovered. Alex was talking about price discovery. Skeens at home against any other team, I think, than the Dodgers, maybe the Braves, maybe, but it ain't ever going to be this price again at home, this cheap on Skeens.
Right.
So you look at it that way and go, I feel better about betting that. It's a good price.
No, because it's minus 150 on the first 5. The bullpen, you guys, your bullpen's garbage. They've blown multiple games for him. So that's why it's 109. It's 109 because he's only going to go 6. He's a strikeout pitcher on a pitch clock. He's not going more than 100 pitches, period. So he's going to throw 6 innings. And then those last 9 outs against the Dodgers.
Light knuckle ride, baby.
His last start, he left with a 5-1 lead against the Giants, who can't hit their way out of a paper bag. Lost the game 6-5.
I hate when you talk about my team with factual information that I cannot even come back at you and say, quit besmirching my squad, because look, Blue Spader's old. He's seen it. He's hardened. As a Pirates fan, this is the game they lose. Come on, Blue Spader, get on board. Think of 1960, 1971, 1979. Think of those days instead of these days. But no, I like the Pirates today. I do. I'll be on Sports Grid later. I told them yesterday I'm coming on in full Pirate regalia. I'm coming on with all the Bucco stuff today.
The Astros lost 2 key starting pitchers today for the season. They are 6 games under 500 already. Javier Urquidy, I can say it's the guy's name. Gone for the year. This is like a wrap, right? Goodbye, Astros.
It's June 5th. Trade deadline's end of July. This goes one of 2 ways. Really bad in the next month, and they probably become sellers. But the division is having them lurk and hang around. I don't think anything's decided today.
But it's I think for the Astros it is. I mean, not for the division. I mean, the West is wide open. You're right. Rangers have been lurking. Mariners have the lead. But for the Astros to compete, this is goodbye.
You could call up somebody and they are masterful. I mean,
okay.
These are hard. It's hard to replace 2. That's the problem, right? This is a lot of innings to eat up.
And Framber's not been great.
Not great.
So, like, you got your top of the line guy, your number 1 starter was supposed to be good. Now your 2 and your 3 are gone.
Right.
Good luck.
It's a bad spot for them. There's no question about that. I don't want to say put a fork in them. They're done right now, but it don't look good.
Yeah, see you in spring training in 2025. All right, game 1 is tomorrow. Kristaps Porzingis, welcome back to basketball. Confirmed today. He will play in game 1 for the Boston Celtics. That is a 6.5-point line for Boston. It did not really move all that much. But in the category of, are you sorry, Will? Are you fucking serious?
Here he goes.
Celtics team total for tomorrow night is 56.5.
For the first half.
For the first half. Can somebody explain to me this number? Because Boston put up 66 and 65 in 2 games against Dallas in the first half in their meetings.
It's the playoffs. It's the finals. It's a different team. It's all.
It ain't. The Boston.
Let me just
doing this. Boston's been going over team totals consistently against teams. Indiana was the same way. They're like 57. What? In game 1, they scored like 63 points against Indiana. Boston's going to score 60. They scored 60 in game 1. They're going to score 60 in game 1.
Give the people something to vote on right
56
now.
56.5. What are we doing?
Boston team total 56.5. You betting over or under? Vote in the poll. P-Rod's going to put it up right now. I'm telling you all, the NBA Finals starts tomorrow. If you watch the show because you can't stand me, you're going to become my biggest fan. Okay? Because P-Rod is going to be a mass hole nonstop. Nonstop.
I never said that they slowed down with KP. No, they don't. Whoa. They play better defense with KP. They don't slow down. No. No.
So if you were voting, you would bet over 56.5.
Boston shoots threes. I already bet it.
By the way,
and you can by the way, you can alt bet this.
Oh, here we go.
At FanDuel and DraftKings, 52.5, 53.5, 54.5, 55.5. You can just ladder this shit. You can just run with this.
Nope.
Like you can just roll with this. Like I've told you guys this all year. Celtics team total, when it's below 58, it is an auto fire at home. Auto fire.
Done.
Yes, please keep telling me I'm wrong. Yes, I love it. You guys are awesome at being wrong, telling me I'm wrong.
Whoa.
I need this. This is great. Tell me I'm wrong. I love it.
Thank you for watching the show, and thank you for making a comment. We really appreciate it.
I love it.
It's going to be a long week, boys. It's going to be a long 10 days. Actually, how long are the NBA Finals? Do they go all the way to July 4th?
It's 2 weeks unless Boston wins game 1, game 2. Then it's 5 and we're done. It's a wrap. Dallas better win. Dallas better win a game in Boston. That's all I got to say. They better win a game in Boston. All of you people, this 89% of you who are all betting Dallas, I love this. Keep going. The reason why the books are in love with all of you guys, because you're all Buffaloes. You're about to be led straight off the cliff.
Why?
See you later.
Why with the Bills?
Goodbye.
What are you doing?
Right off the edge. You're all going to be, ever seen the video for U2, the one video, all the Buffaloes are running off the cliff? That's the public right now going about Dallas. Everyone's on Dallas. This is great. Tremendous. Keep going. Everyone talking about Dallas. From Nick Wright talking about Dallas. You're right, Sebastian. From ESPN talking heads. I mean, just go through it. Like, it's unbelievable the number of people, and they all have the same stupid fucking point that Boston's path was too easy. Boston scored 136 points on these guys in one game, guys. They dropped 136 on them. Like, they're getting Porzingis back. They're going to be better defensively and better offensively than the team that's 6-0 on the road and 12-2 in the playoffs. Oh, here we go. Like, just saying, it's the books are in love with you guys. The books are just going like this. Come on. Come on. Keep betting. Come on. The books love you. This is great. This is absolutely tremendous when you guys are doing this. It's just like, this is akin to what happened in the main event of 302. Everyone loves Poirier. Betting Poirier, betting Poirier, betting Poirier. Biggest decision ever. Who won the fucking fight? That's all that matters.
He gave him a good fight, though.
Yeah, and Dallas is going to give Boston a fight. There's no debating. This is not going to be easy. I think they split in Boston, okay? Pick which game Boston loses, 1 or 2. They're losing one of the two.
Okay,
they are.
Yeah.
They're splitting in Boston.
Okay.
In Dallas. They're splitting in Dallas, splitting in Boston. 2-2 going to game 5. Boston wins game 5. Dallas wins game 6. Boston wins game 7.
Boy, the show, really, we're going to pick up a bunch of viewers and listeners. And if you actually are here watching it, I see you guys working the comments on the replay.
Right.
I really appreciate that. Go in there and put your series prediction in the comment section on the YouTube channel. Let's light that thing up.
4-3 Boston.
Boston. You said Boston in 7.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
4-3 Boston.
Yeah.
Is my prediction. Mavs plus 1.5.
I will be surprised if it don't go 6 or 7. Like a 4 or 5 game. There's ain't no sweep. There's not a sweep in this series. No way.
Oh, if you see me, if the Celtics sweep, you guys better run and hide. I'm coming in with a flamethrower if that happens. I will flame everybody. If Boston sweeps, I will flame everybody in the media for this stupid, lazy take about who Boston played.
Can we change the name of the show at this point? I love the logo. I love the hats. I love the everything, but can we change the name? If the Celtics win, can we change it? This is going to be, people are going to be like texting me, DMing me.
Sure.
Your boy's out of control. His team won. What do you want to hear? You're supposed to act like this when your team wins.
If they sweep, oh my. God,
so good. Please, no. Please.
It'll be so good. Oh, it'll be so good. I love it. It'll be tremendous. By the way, Yahoo Sports pointed this out today. The player who finished higher in the MVP voting is 12-11 in the finals. So it's literally a coin flip. Luka was above Tatum in the MVP voting.
Oh.
So since 2000.
Okay.
Last 23 finals. So it's pretty much a coin flip. Because just to the point where everyone loves to say the team with the best player always wins. No. Luka's the best player in the series. I'm not debating that point. I agree. 12-11.
I love your nasally voice when somebody's questioning things in this, but your media guy argument voice is phenomenal. When you use all the talking points that a lot of people are using.
Oh yeah, it's great. Throw some actual stats at them, and oh my God, you have to do your job. Shoot, what's up? The hot take gets shut down by numbers. That's a problem. I love that. You just go ahead and show them the actual numbers. It's like, oh well, shoot. What do I do now?
Now what?
Exactly. Now what?
Now you got to watch the game, which, by the way, only 55% of the people in our poll earlier voted that they watched the NBA. It was 55-45.
Still the majority. So
slight
majority, still the majority. Watch your ears, proxy service, bet or NFL story of the daytime. All right, last thing before we'll get to some bonus time conversations, including a celebration in softball that's weird. We'll get to it here in just 1 second, but we can't do it. It's a great bonus time conversation. So if you're live, stick around because you're going to want to hear this. This is a wild conversation, and don't know what Florida's doing, but whoa. Teams are worried that their kickers are going to get hurt this year because of the new kickoff rules. Like, do you think, I'm not saying it's going to go into a handicap, right? But like if your kicker gets hurt mid-game, it changes everything from a scoring perspective. It makes 2-point conversions. You have to do that. Kickoffs become a problem. Like your kicker is that one Achilles heel. If he gets hurt in game, not during the week, but in game, that can derail a lot of stuff. Can it not?
Of course. That's why the punter should practice being able to kick as an emergency kicker. No.
Well, they're telling, according to the article, they're telling the kickers to get down. Like, don't be the last line of defense. Like you're more important to the game than making the tackle. Let them score. So like, it's really going to be interesting. Like kickers are going to have to either learn how to tackle. You need to actually be a guy who can actually form tackle or get out of the way because you might get really hurt.
The kickers, when I was a kid, and those of you over 40 might remember a lot of the kickers were, when it started, they were little guys that kicked soccer style.
Yep.
They were very fast probably, but they weren't physically imposing. There are punters now that are rugby players. The best punters in the league are from Australia.
Some of them, yeah.
Actually physically knew how to hit and tackle.
Right.
If you've ever been to an NFL training camp, you watch the kickers and the punters, like they're in shorts. They don't even have top pads on sometimes. They go and kick, and then they go play golf in the afternoon. Like, it's a great gig. Now you're going to ask them to tackle or go down? Like, I can't wait for the first, like, this guy, the last guy's the kicker, and the kicker doesn't make an effort to just swipe at him and take him down? No.
The guy's going to be running full steam. They're going to be sitting there as a duck. Like they're the last ones. If they get through that line, right, with the way kickoffs are going to be done now, if the guy gets past that initial rush, right, there's no one behind but the kicker. He is literally the last line of defense in the new kickoff rules. If you get past that initial wave, there's nothing behind. It's not staggered. There's not lanes. You pick a side. It's the kicker and you as a returner, and that's it.
So we're bringing back sexy. We're bringing back the kickoff return. There's going to be kickoff returns in the NFL.
There could be, yeah. Well, they're incentivizing the ability to kick the ball because if you take the ball out of the end zone, there's incentives to go ahead and return the ball this time. Yeah, it's supposed to be safer.
Wow. Stevie Anderson, Mr. Anderson said the kicker's going to be destroyed.
Yes. I mean, yes, that's the worry. Teams are worried about that exact thing because truck sticks, like if you're a returner, forget going around the guy, run through him. Just go ahead, lower the shoulder, and just bam, goodbye. And that could be a bad, bad situation. Concussions, injuries.
Wow.
So just keep an eye on that from a handicapper perspective. It could get really interesting. If you guys are with us live on YouTube or Twitter, you're not moving. We got a lot more to come. If you guys are with us on SiriusXM or you're with us on Sports Grid TV, thank you. We're back tomorrow. Same place, same time. BVB on a Thursday. The rest of you, bonus time. From a book perspective, just to put a bow on it, you can't like prep for that. That's kind of the problem, right? Like you can't prepare for what may happen with kickoff returns.
Not without seeing it. But
go watch the AFL. Go watch the XFL last year. You'll see it. It's crazy. But these are better athletes in the NFL than were in the XFL.
Correct.
So that's the bar is going to be.
You need to see the rule in practice there, and then you have to interpret it. What is that going to mean with the better guys, the faster guys, the bigger guys, whatever it is?
Because the report is that teams are going to put their running backs back there again to return kicks. That they're going to put actual skill players, not just specialty guys, but like real guys who are used to carrying the football are going to be back there returning kicks this year.
They're going to have to pay the running backs more if they're going to start returning the kicks. Like they devalued the running back position.
I mean, Justin Fields, your guy may be back to returning kickoffs. That's where that rumor started.
He's the backup quarterback.
I know, but that's where it started. That was the rumor that you're going to put athletes back there return kicks. That was where the rumor started for Justin Fields.
The ones that play quarterback. Very bad idea. You're worried about the kicker getting hurt. You should be worried about the backup quarterback getting hurt. Because when Russ gets hurt, there's going to be a problem.
Completely agree. This is weird. Okay, you're the softball coach. You got to explain this one to me. The Florida softball team has a new tradition in the College World Series. When a player hits a home run, they give the player a wedgie.
Yeah.
At home plate. This is a female, mind you. This is a front wedgie.
Well, they pull it up from the back, but it's
okay, but it's. Is this the weirdest celebration you've ever seen?
I've seen some weird stuff in travel ball tournaments and different things, but what did we call that? Moose knuckles for guys? It was a moose knuckle, right?
Okay, right.
It's a camel toe for women.
Correct.
Right? When you pull that up like
this
that,
is a wedgie.
See all that?
This is a front wedgie and a back wedgie. This is both. This is
they're ripping up the
underwear. Like guys used to have like their shirts torn off. Remember the whole controversy around the Astros when they were going to tear the shirt off, and Altuve's like, no, and that's why they thought he had that device on him.
Yeah. So
like, and Joe, we're in bonus time, Joe, so we can say whatever we want. So
Joe, the fat panda, we're in bonus time.
We're in bonus time, so we can say front wedgie here. No one get mad.
We can say whatever the fuck.
Yes, fuck. We want right. Yes, go ahead.
Except us. This is part of the benefit of watching the show on the YouTube channel. You get all this. And watching the show or listening to the show wherever you're at, the unfiltered BVB bonus time, we can have this discussion. Did you ever give anybody a wedgie back in the day?
No, I told you I didn't do that in high school. I didn't push people in lockers. I didn't give wedgies.
Did anyone ever give you a wedgie?
No. People were afraid of me. No one wanted to bother me, so they left me alone.
My freshman year, this guy who was a senior, his name was Gus, picked me up by the back of my pants.
Oh, God.
And gave me a wedgie. Lifted me up off the ground.
Really? Ouch.
Yeah. He was a big guy. He went on to play football at Tulsa. But when he let me down, he was much bigger than me.
Oh.
I was literally going to kill him. I was going to try. And he was like, you're going to get hurt. And I said, I don't care. Don't ever do that again. And made it known that would never happen again. That was the last time I ever got a wedgie. 9th grade, Keystone Oaks High School, down by the lockers.
Yeah, I never got it.
And walk right now. I know exactly where it was at. That hurts, P-Roll. It hurts guys.
It really
hurt girls too.
I'm guessing.
If we're in the dugout, I go, listen, I'm happy she hit a home run. Don't give it a wedgie. Like, that's even just for fun, like joking around.
It's on national fucking TV. Don't grab my underwear. I'm on national TV. How about you don't grab my underwear while I'm celebrating at the moment? Because it's now a viral story that the Florida Gators give wedgies when they hit home runs. This is not what you want to be known for. Like, this is weird.
They lost, so they can worry about that. The Women's College World Series starts tonight with Texas and Oklahoma, which is ironically now an SEC matchup officially, when it used to be a Big 12 matchup.
Wow.
Right? Think about that. Texas and
So
Oklahoma.
weird.
It's so weird. They're in the SEC. It's going to be a fantastic series. Oklahoma pulled one out yesterday against Florida. I highly recommend watching it in between watching whatever else you're watching. The girls do an unbelievable job. They're great athletes. Don't pull each other's pants up like that, please.
Or down, please. Either or. Up or down, please. Thank you. Do not do that at all.
Yeah.
Time now for Bet It or. Oh, by the way, we didn't really do this, but I can give it a quick shout out for the Brigade Proxy Service, thebvbshow.com. There's a way to get in touch with us. You guys can text us at 702-570-8255 to be a part of it. We saw on there this morning. More on that here on Favorite Thing About Today, but that is the contact information if you guys want to get with us for the Brigade Proxy Service this coming football season. If you guys are not aware, let's do better to All right, this number's run a little bit here. The Las Vegas Aces, are on the road against Dallas. This number opened at 6.5. I got 7.5. It's now 9 for Vegas. But the last time Vegas lost, they turned around and won the game by 18 points. They're coming off of a loss here against Dallas. Dallas is not very good. I'm laying the 7.5 with Vegas. Better to book it.
Let me just click refresh because I wasn't looking at any WNBA. You've been Mr. Freeze lately. You were rolling and
no, only in baseball. I mean, I just Monday, Tuesday on baseball, but this is my first non-baseball bet since Sunday.
All right.
Baseball.
Do I get 7.5 or do I get 9?
7.5
if I book it. Oh, damn it!
My number.
All right, I'll say book it. Well, give me the home dog. Just an instinctual thing, no opinion whatsoever. If you guys are watching this based on, well, Dave doesn't like it, so I'm not. But don't do that. Not for this. Got no real opinion. Book it.
Okay. Cubs run line. Right back to it.
Didn't get there yesterday.
Nope, but they scored 7-1 to get to a 7-6 win. So
right.
Today, I think they go and actually have a decent performance offensively. It's just a system play. Just go ahead and drop it down. Run line Cubs.
No, we'll book this one too.
Okay.
This would be one of those silly situations where the White Sox will somehow lose by 1.
Okay. Fetty's a strikeout pitcher with an ERA of over 5 on the road. He stinks.
Doesn't bode well for the book.
He stinks on the road. He's not good.
Well, that total is 9 now. Remember we looked at it last night a little bit. It was 9.5.
9.5. Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense to go.
Funny how that changes like that.
Pirates over 8 minus 115.
I'll buy this with you. You convinced me. You convinced me. I hope it's the Pirates alone goes over this total.
Great. Go ahead. Score 9. Be tremendous.
Let's get 7.
Rock Paxton.
Dodgers, and this is over comfortably.
Yeah, go ahead and hit a million, go crazy. Score 20 runs for all I care. It'll be good. Favorite thing about today is what?
I got 2 things. Number 1, we got to meet Onler this morning. We saw James down at the Tuscany. It was awesome. Easy experience. It's paying off for everybody. We did it last year. We didn't meet this Onler. We met the brother, but yeah. I got to hear a little bit about Iowa and the fact that, he was listening to your radio show back then. And it was really fun to, you left, you had to get home and start prepping for the show and get everything ready. I got to spend the time with him after that you got to spend with him before. Heard a couple stories that just again, as men, we are dumb with a lot of things, like in taking care of ourselves. And, it's that month where, it's being recognized, and it's your mental health is everything as well as your physical health. And it wasn't lost on me in him saying, I drive around in a truck all day. I can't wait to listen to you guys. I really appreciate it. And I don't have to bet every day to like your show.
Right.
Great testimony. I mean,
Agreed.
it was awesome. And he's here with his wife and his young son. And we gave him a couple recommendations of places to go. Not the 21 and over section of Cowabunga Bay, but that's a water park that you can go to, among other things. So that was fun. And my number 2 thing is daughter number 2, middle consig Kelsey, signed the paperwork to go attend college with her sister in Rutherford, New Jersey. They're going together. They're going to play softball together. So this little, just keep it together, dream that we all had as a family and as a dad who said, you want to go play catch? Yeah. You get them a glove. You get them, spikes. They want to be cool, wear the big glasses and the visors. 4 years old. Kelsey was 4. Kylie was 5. Never forget the summer. We started going out and trying to catch. It was a total disaster. Every time they threw it bad, they had to go get it. They learned. The dream is real. They're going to play. I remember I started crying the first time they pitched and caught to each other, because that's what me and brother Dan did. That's what my dad and my uncle did. And if we get one inning of that in college, after they did it in travel ball, they did it in high school, and now they're going to do it in college, I'm at a loss for words. And I'm beyond thankful. I can't wait to see it. I'm going to be back in New Jersey as frequently as I'm allowed. So I got 1 year of them together. I hope they enjoy it as much as my wife or their mother and I are proud of them. And I don't know what else to say other than the feeling as a dad. Those of you know that when your kid does anything and has a little bit of success for all the hard work that they put in, there's no better feeling. Absolutely no better feeling. Favorite thing about today.
Hell yeah. It's really cool. That's really, really, really cool. I have 2 things, quick ones. First, Alex and the interview in Sport Trade being with us. It's really an amazing thing when like-minded companies, I love when it fits. I love when it makes perfect sense for everyone, that it's not for us to do. It's the show and our beliefs and the company and their beliefs, and it's like-minded, and it connects and it clicks, and it's so easy to talk about a product that we 100% believe in, that we are all in on, that we speak the same language. So for Alex and the team at Sport Trade, we thank you for the support. We're going to love every Wednesday. Cannot wait to really get down deep and really get into what the tape does and the bets you guys have rolling in. It's going to be absolutely tremendous. And then you always say the kids say the damnedest things. It really is true. I've dated 2 women in my daughter's life. Okay. Her mother and Amanda now. Okay.
Oh boy.
2. Okay.
Oh boy.
So Madeline's getting dressed this morning, right?
God.
She's putting on a dress to go to skating camp. So it's like this sport dress type of thing that has like the built-in shorts, and like it's a dress, but it's more like an athletic type of dress.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm putting it on her, and I go, well, the long part goes in the back. And she looks at me and she goes, for all the women you've dated in your life, you haven't figured out that the long part goes in the back? Or sorry, the long part goes in the front? And I went like, for all the women I've dated in my life, it's like, what are you talking about? it just goes to show you how, like, the perception of your kids, like, because I've talked about my dating life to my daughter. Like, she knows the people I've dated and the women I've dated. She goes, for all the women that you've dated in your life, you haven't figured out that the long part goes in the front yet?
I don't even know what to say.
I was like, what the hell is that? I was like, I think it came out of nowhere. Like, I did not see that. Like, that was a complete, like, curveball conversation. I was like, what are you talking about? You see me date 2 women in my life.
Yeah. That's the kids know. They just say it. That's the beauty of having them and being a girl dad. You really don't know.
Yeah. Yes, Addison. There's million double entendres. You can go with that. Absolutely. Yes. And my daughter definitely absolutely roasted me. 100%. She roasted me. She's because now she's 10, by the way. You ask my daughter how old she is. Her birthday is July 30th. She's 9. You ask her how old she is. 10. You have June, July. You have all of June, all of July to go, Madeline. No, 10. I'm 10. Okay. We're going to rush now.
That's it.
I was sitting with another dad watching it, and she was saying this to him. He was like, how old are you? She said 10. I was like, oh, you're 10 now. And he was like, one day you're not going to want to go too fast ahead. You're going to want to go the other way. And she's like, what do you mean? It's like, one time you're going to be 31 and really you're 29. And you're going to be 29 till you're like 39. And then when you're 40, you're going to be 39. And you stay 30. Girl math as it goes. Rush. Thank you for being here, guys. This show was a ton of fun. Great morning to Joel Onler, to Flip, and to everybody else part of the brigade. We thank you so much for being a part of this. It's really, really cool. Back tomorrow for a Thursday Dave Matt. Hope to see y'all there.